This, of course, is coming after the state government's directive cancelling such services because of the second wave of the COVID-19 pandemic. But they're asking for a waiver as far as the crossover services are concerned. The State Secretary of Kano will be speaking to us via the phone lines this morning, hopefully, just to get some clarity and some thoughts as regards what the situation really is. As far as that is concerned, remember at Fresh FM Abeokuta is where you get to be a part of the program. This morning, drop your contributions. If you're watching live on Facebook, feel free to join the conversation via that avenue as well. I'll be back in a moment to kickstart things with the latest numbers reported by the NCDC. It's the platform this morning. Hope you're enjoying your Monday. I don't say you just wanna know the rapper. Hey, hey, you don't say we there forever. They don't say the way I they rap. Hey. The way we rap, they say big it today. This is the pop today. The way we rap, they say to back today. This is the pop today. Jump up to the top, you gotta see me when I pop up in the drop top. You know I got the vibe. If you want it, you got it, you like it. Hip hop, you feeling the boy and you just wanna know the rapper. They don't say we there forever. They don't say the way I they rap will be getting better. Oh yeah, hip hop, I don't say you just wanna know the rapper. Hey, hey, you don't say we there forever. They don't say the way I they rap. Hip hop, hey. The way we rap, they say big it today. This is hip hop today. Baby, that person to back today. This is the pop 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 today.
Fresh 107.9, where we keep you fresh all day. From the rock city of Nigeria. Rock city of Nigeria. This is Fresh 107.9.
Is the platform on Fresh 107.9 FM Abeokuta. Good morning to you once again. In case you're just joining the program, it is the second to the last, the penultimate, as far as the show is concerned for the year 2020. And like I said earlier, we'll be kickstarting things with the latest numbers reported by the Nigeria Center for Disease Control, the NCDC, as regards the latest numbers of COVID-19 infections in the country. According to the NCDC, 838 new COVID infections were reported in the country in the last 24 hours. The Federal Capital Territory reporting the highest number of cases with 297, followed by Lagos with 253, and then Plateau State with 82. There's Kaduna with 57, and then Katsina with 32. Nasarawa reported 31 new cases. Kano, 25. Gombe, 24. Oyo and Rivers, 8 new cases. Zamfara, 7. Ogun, Bauchi, and Edo reported 4 new cases each, while the duo of Anambra and Sokoto reported 1 new case each. 84,414. That's the number of confirmed infections in the country so far. 71,034 of them have recovered and have been discharged. But sadly, the death rate continues to rise. 1,254 people have now died of COVID-related issues in the country. That is 7 more than what was reported on Saturday night. Remember, these latest figures were reported yesterday, Sunday night. Well, you can get all the breakdown you need is on the various social media platforms of the Nigeria Center for Disease Control, Twitter at NCDC Gov, There's a COVID-19 dedicated website, of course. It's covid19.ncdc.gov.ng. Trust us on this dial to keep you up to date or bring you up to speed, as always, as regards the latest numbers across the country. The global situation pretty much the same from last week, although some countries seeing increase in number of cases. South Africa, for example, became the first country on the continent to register more than 1 million COVID-19 cases. This is coming days after authorities in that country confirmed that new variant, which they say is faster spreading in the country. In fact, according to reports, some hospitals and medical centers have reported a huge rise in admissions, putting a heavy strain on resources. As far as that country is concerned, so far, they've had 1,004,443 COVID-19 infections, and they've had 26,735 people who have died since the outbreak began in March. The UK, they are looking at tougher measures as far as restrictions against the COVID-19 is concerned. Good news for them in the US. The President Donald Trump finally signed the COVID relief and spending package. Remember, there's been some political wranglings as far as that is concerned. In fact, there were some people who expected that the president might not sign it, and then the lawmakers would have had to flex their own powers as well. But the president finally signed it, although he still, remember, he labeled it wasteful spending in some measures last week. But the numbers continue to rise in some of these countries globally. A number of new measures are being installed by so many countries of the world, trying to protect their people from getting this virus in some places, this new variant that is being talked about. Here in Nigeria, the message is the same. Wear your face masks in public, wash your hands with soap and water, use alcohol-based sanitizers. If you don't have to be out there, please stay home. Good thing is now these days, because of the festivities, the number of family members are home. You guys can enjoy home together and just stay home and stay safe for yourselves and your loved ones. Expectedly, there are some of us that have to be out there because of our businesses. They need to make ends meet and a lot of that. Please wear your face masks while you are in public and join in that effort to educate people around you as far as the COVID-19 pandemic is concerned. I did tell you that here in Ogun State, the Christian Association of Nigeria, they've written, the chairperson has written a letter appealing to the state governor Dr. Abiodun to allow churches conduct crossover service on New Year Eve. That's on Thursday. The chairman of the Christian body, Pastor Tunde Akinsoya, in reacting to that order prohibiting crossover services by churches, in that letter, which was titled A Passionate Appeal for Observance of Crossover Night, delivered to the governor, explained that religious leaders have met and resolved to strictly adhere to the coronavirus protocols as the service lasted. What they are asking for is that churches are allowed to hold crossover night service by 10:30, between 10:30 on December the 31st and 12:15 on January 1st. They are also asking that people are then allowed to go back to their homes between 12:15 a.m. and 1 a.m. on the 1st of January, because with the promise that all necessary COVID-19 protocols will be adhered to. But a number of people have raised questions as regards this, considering this second wave and how the numbers are rising. But in a matter of minutes, we'll be getting to speak with the State Secretary of the Christian Association of Nigeria, Reverend Stephen Adeyemi, who incidentally is the head of the CAN team, which has been in discussions with the state government as regards the COVID-19 pandemic. We're getting to hear from him in a matter of minutes and get some clarity as regards that letter, and of course get his thoughts as regards the whole situation, the order and the reaction by the Christian Association of Nigeria via that letter. But we'll take a very quick break and return to talk to him in a moment. It's the platform on Fresh 107.9 FM Abeokuta. Please don't go anywhere.
bínaba gorí ilé ìmọ̀ fẹ́jú tótó ni gbogbo ẹ̀yin ọ̀kúndùn bá ń kẹjẹ tẹ́ lè ṣe kẹ́ ẹ̀ má gbẹ̀nẹ́ gorí ọ̀tà ẹ̀ má fa ìlàkàsí jàmúkú sìgá síbikíbi tẹ́ ẹ bá ti rí kẹsìrì pẹ́ paná rẹ̀ kú fínfín má gbà pé tàbí fínrin lọrin nílé epo àti gbogbo bí tẹ́ni tafẹ́fẹ́ gáàsì ẹ̀ má kànáà lùgbó ẹ̀ sì má dáná sunlẹ̀ níbikíbi tó ti lè jájò náà àníri jàǹbá ọkọ̀ epo ṣùgbọ́n tó bá ṣẹlẹ̀ ẹja jìnà síbẹ̀ kétékété ká sì dẹ́kun mímọ́ finá fóònù rẹ̀ epo sínú jẹnẹrétọ̀ ẹ̀rí dájú pé ń paná ọ́fíìsì àti inú ilé nígbà tẹ́ ẹ bá ti nílò rẹ̀ àti tán bá múná lọ ìjáfara léwu láti máa fi láìtà kándù ìṣáná sáròótọ́ àwọn ọmọ kéékèèké àní ṣòfò ẹ̀mí bẹ́ẹ̀ la ní ṣòfò dúkìá ẹni bá létí kó gbọ́ dènà ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ ìjàmbá náà ìtanijí wá láti fresh 107.9 FM Abẹ́òkúta.
From the rock city of Nigeria. Rock city of Nigeria. This is Fresh 107.9.
Thank you for staying with us. Still the platform on Fresh 107.9 FM Abeokuta. I did say that we'll be joined this morning by the State Secretary of the Christian Association of Nigeria, Reverend Stephen Adeyemi, is on the phone line with us this morning. Incidentally, Reverend Adeyemi is the head of that CAN team discussing, or that have been in discussion with the federal government, state government rather, as regards the COVID-19 pandemic. Good morning to you, Reverend Adeyemi. Good to have you join us.
Good morning to you.
Compliments of the season. Yes. Good to have you join us.
To you and all our listeners at home.
Let's get straight to it, Rev, and talk about this the letter written by the chairman of CAN to the state governor. Of course, the letter trailed that the new directives against COVID-19, which prohibited the crossover services. But that letter asked the governor to allow churches to hold crossover services with some promises and some conditions. But, you know, I'm sure you've been gauging the reactions of some people to that letter. There are some who look at the state government's directive and say, well, it is needed because of the rising COVID-19 numbers. What do you think?
Well, we had a meeting with the state government,
Okay.
in which we were made to understand about the current situations in the country, about the rising cases of COVID-19. And then that really brought about further restrictions on religious activities. And we actually have understanding with the state government, and we agreed with them. Now, the issue of the letter came up because we have cases where the church leaders are really calling that we make appeal to the state government. Since the church is not locked down, there is a way we can put in place the same restrictions that allow us for our normal worship service in place, so that we can have the cross overnight. And you know, for the church in Nigeria, and let me say all over the world, the crossover night is one of the important programs that we don't just take for granted, especially when it comes to prayer. So that is what the chairman acted upon, making appeal. It is the passionate appeal, if you look at that letter very well, to the state government, that okay, as it is, we need your indulgence to help us to observe this, while we make sure that the same COVID-19 protocols we put in place in our normal services will still be replicated in that program as well.
Now, the good thing is you've been part of the meetings with the state government. You've been leading the team, as I hear. Now, what was it mentioned? I'm sure it must have been mentioned at that meeting that there was going to be restrictions on the crossover services. Was there any protests or objection from CAN during that meeting?
Well, let me say there was no point of cancellation of crossover night. And if you look at the release by the state government, you will see all the points that were listed as touching the restrictions on the. You will see that you don't have the point of crossover light there. But if you look at it again on the other side, there is the issue of curfew by the federal government. So that is why we actually saw the need to request, because there's no way we will hold it that we will not go against the curfew. And that is why we actually make appeal that, okay, give us 1 hour into the new year. And then by that, we expect that all our members will be back at home. And in fact, to the body, we said to them that, okay, anyone who knows that he cannot be back at home by 1 should not even go to any church or just go to a church in the neighborhood.
But Reverend Adam, sorry to button just before you go on, because what you said earlier, I had to quickly get a hold of, that statement by the Chief Press Secretary to the governor, and what the statement mentioned that the state government was asking for suspension of crossover services, carnivals, and gatherings of such nature during the New Year celebrations. Are you saying it wasn't something that was part of it wasn't a decision reached at the meeting?
Well, it was mentioned, but okay. I'm not. I don't think it is something that we were thinking of canceling outrightly.
Okay.
But something that has to be done with the restrictions that were rolled out.
Okay.
But anyway, the reason why we made appeal is that because, sincerely speaking, at a point we were like confused when we look at the guideline, because that day in the meeting, when it was read, the leadership of the church asked that we want all these things to be written, to be given to us in black and white. That in fact the person that spoke on behalf of the Christian leader said all these things that we are reading, we may not be able to comprehend everything. Let everything be written to us and be sent to us. And when we saw the release, we didn't really see the issue of crossover being cancelled outrightly. But from the media, we were hearing no crossover, and that brings a kind of agitation from church leaders.
Okay.
That how will there not be crossover, this and that. And when we look at it, things are the release by the state government. So we now say, okay, let us put an appeal across to the state government so that we can really seek for its indulgence so that we can hold the program.
Just to clarify, Rev, as regards that meeting with the state government, because when the directive was issued, the statement said that those directives were issued after the statement showed us that there was a meeting before those directives were issued, and interpretation is key. Someone could assume that the meeting there was an agreement. Was the meeting one where there were deliberations and then agreements were reached, or it was a meeting where government just informed the religious leaders of their plans?
No, in sincerity, it is not that the government just called us and told us this is what we want to do and then a kind of imposition. No,
okay.
Not at all.
Okay.
They actually called us to reason together, to give us how far, what is going on, and how they are working to make sure that they are able to curtail the pandemic, and then how it affects us, the restrictions that the way it will affect us. So, and they actually expect us to contribute, which we did. But in all sincerity, the state government is not doing anything against the church, as if they hate the church, as if the government doesn't want the church to do this or do that. We understood perfectly in the meeting that with all the explanations, everything is in the interest of the church members. So there wasn't any point of rioting. Maybe we agree or we don't want to agree.
Okay.
Or the government is imposing. No. Nothing of such.
Now, now that you've mentioned the issue of the interest of church members, interest of people in the state, you spoke earlier about how your thinking or Kant's thinking was that if churches are being allowed to hold their regular services, albeit with some restrictions, the crossover night can also go ahead with those restrictions. But don't you think that the numbers, because these are some of the things some people have said, that the numbers are usually different for the crossover night? You know, a lot of people who have either or not been coming to church, a number of them would be in church for the crossover night gathering.
There's no lie in that. We emphasize that as well. But the truth is, it still has to do with the leadership of the church. Because you see, even when we put a COVID-19 restriction during after the lockdown was lifted, and we had to organize our worship with protocols. We have been organizing programs, and we have been doing it differently from the way we used to do it before. There are so many programs in the church that bring more population than the usual normal worship service. But because of the COVID-19 pandemic and the restrictions, we have been doing it differently from the usual way of doing them. We say like wedding, like burial, outing services, and so on and so forth. So that is our thinking, that it depends on the church leadership, and we are really working around the church leaders, that if the government is able to give us permission, then definitely we need to show responsibility by not disappointing the body of Christ, so that we can really be able to show to the government that, okay, this is what we promised, and that is what we have actually done.
Now, the letter was written. I'm sure the governor already got the letter. I'm sure Khan is awaiting response from government. But there are some people that say, don't you think this will be is a tough one for government because approval or indulgence, as you say, might be somewhat risky. What happens when you find some churches who don't obey these guidelines, considering the timing again, it's in the dead of the night? What happens when you don't find churches obeying the guidelines and then the state has to battle with, God forbid, some numbers of COVID infections?
Well, we are not envisaging that churches will disobey the order, because we believe that church leaders in Ogun State are responsible, and at the same time they are law-abiding. So we are not emphasizing that. And that is why even the meeting we held, we made sure that it is not just few executives of CAN. No, leaders of churches. Okay. Where people, I give you the caliber of people that were in that meeting. Leaders of denominations, about 27 of us were in that meeting. So that we know it is not something that we have to be struggling to hold another meeting. So what I'm saying in essence is this. We expect that our leaders will show responsibility to make sure that they abide by the law. And by that, we are not envisaging that crossover night will now bring about more cases of COVID-19 in Ogun State. And as to the other question, sincerely speaking, talking about putting His Excellency on a very top point, I must confess to you that we know the pressure is much. Just as I said somewhere else, that the kind of pressure we receive is the pressure we also pass on. So it is an appeal with not just empty promises, but appeal that also carry a statement of responsibilities on our own parts.
All right, just before I let you go, Reverend Adeyemi, when you say it is an appeal, what? Of course, I'm sure you are hopeful for some what you will call good news by getting approval from the state government. But say the government does not give an approval, I'm sure it will be taken in good faith.
We are not actually expecting that His Excellency, the lover of the people of Ogun State and the lover of the Church of Christ in Ogun State, will turn us down. We are not expecting that. We are optimistic that by God's grace, He will reason along with the church, and then He will grant us our request.
But say He doesn't.
I'm coming to
Okay,
that.
okay.
And in all sincerity and with every sense of responsibility as a leader and as a minister of God's people, if His Excellency, the leader of force, says no, the church is not known for violation or disobedience.
All right. All right. Thank you very much, Reverend Stephen Adeyemi. Thank you for talking to us this morning. Wish you the very best in the remaining days of the year. Hopefully, you have a better 2021.
Thank you so much. God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you for talking to us. Reverend Stephen Adeyemi is the State Secretary of the Christian Association of Nigeria. He's also part of that CAN team that has been discussing with the state government. Of course, optimistic, he says, that particular request by the Christian Association of Nigeria is one that has expectedly polarized opinions. A number of people look at it, just like he mentioned the issue of prayers and how important the day is and how it has become a norm. Some people look at that and say, well, it will be great if we get that waiver and we can have that service. But there are also some who look at the science of it and the possible blowback if it turns out that some churches, after getting an approval, do not obey the COVID-19 guidelines. Some people look at what could come out of that and say, how about we all just stay home, pray to God, and they say they are sure He will listen. But we'll wait. The state government, I'm sure they've gotten the letter. They have the request on their table. We'll see whether a decision will be made before Thursday. Still about 2 days before that, 2 full days at least before that. And we'll see how it goes. We'll take a very quick pause and get your thoughts this morning. I know quite a number of you have a lot to say about this particular situation. We have just a number of minutes, though, this morning. Just before we get to hear from you. At Fresh FM Abeokuta on Twitter, that's how you get to talk to us. Remember, 0815-432-1079, 0818-111-1079. Those are the numbers to call to share your thoughts this morning. And because talking generally about the COVID-19 pandemic and what we've been seeing the last couple of days, especially with the Christmas celebration and the celebration happening at this time, there's been a number of gatherings, so to speak, in some places, some of them obeying the guidelines, some jettisoning them. But at the moment, everyone is saying it is important to appeal to the sensibility of Nigerians, asking them to stay safe, stressing that staying safe is about protecting not just themselves, but their loved ones. And also importantly, the medical practitioners who, unfortunately, if it turns out that you get infected and you get down to some extent, they wouldn't have a choice but to attend to you. I'm sure you've been following the reports about the doctors. The NMA said about 20 of them have died in the last 1 month. According to the NMA chairperson in Abuja, he was talking on Friday saying some of these doctors unknowingly contracted this virus because some patients didn't tell the truth about their situation and all. That's the situation we'll find ourselves at the moment. 0815-432-1079, 0818-111-1079. Those are the numbers to call. Apologies, I know quite a number of you have been trying to talk to us already. I get to talk to you for the next couple of minutes. We'll be wrapping the program up this morning at exactly 10:45. So we have just about 8 minutes thereabout to wrap things up this morning. Good morning to you. Please turn down the volume on your radio. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Olayinka. I'm calling from the German.
Mr. Olayinka, good morning to you. It appears you're in transit. There's a lot of noise.
Noise? I have switched off the radio.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead now. We can hear you properly.
Okay. I think we're in a catch-22 situation. But what I'd like us to give priority to is the opinion of the doctors, Nigeria Medical Association. We need them to intervene in this matter, whatever they say they are the experts. The CAN secretary has spoken well. He said they need it for just 1 hour. But I don't think it takes 1 hour for people to get infected. It takes minutes for people to get infected. And so if we look at the wider implication, another thing is that we do not know what we are still facing. We pray that everything will subside, but if it doesn't, and a waiver is given at this time, however, when it comes to Muslim festival, there will be reference to what the state government has done. When it comes to other festivals as well, the state government is going to find it very difficult to take a position at that time because people will say, at social time, you think we should do that. That's my opinion. I wish us well.
All right, so thank you for your contribution. Thank you. Hello, good morning. Okay, do try again. 0815-432-1079, 0818-111-1079. Those are the numbers at Fresh FM at Belkuta on Twitter. That's another avenue for you to get your thoughts across to us. If you are watching live on Facebook, feel free to drop your contributions via that avenue as well. I know that just like I said, it's an issue that will get a number of divided opinions. And at this time, one thing that is constant is that everyone wants everyone to be safe. Yes, there are people. He called it a catch-22 situation, which somewhat, defines the situation or sums up the entire situation. But there are some who believe that we might just we are probably just making it a catch-22 situation for ourselves. We might just, make up our minds what we want to do and just move on already. Gbenga Pressy Brand on Facebook says if government permits these other organizations, he says if government permits these other organizations, you also make use of it. The best solution is just to advise people to pray from their various houses. I'm sure that's what he meant with that symbol. Pray from their various houses. All right, that's Benga Pressy Brand on Facebook. All right, thank you for your contribution as well. 0815-432-1079, 0818-111-1079. Those are the numbers to call. Because the State Secretary of the Christian Association of Nigeria, just like the letter said, there had been a lot of pressure from church leaders, asking that they organize the crossover services. The expectation is that the pressure from the church leaders is also a function of the pressure they got from their congregants. That's the expectation. And, you there, some of the congregants, we'll be glad to hear from you. Good morning. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Yeah, am I on to Fresh FM?
Yes, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, my name is Opa Olusegun. I'm calling from Obadauko.
Mr. Akwelu, talk to us.
Yeah. If I even ask the first instance, what do we mean by crossover? Then in the January 1, it doesn't make any difference. Let us save life first. If they are permitted to go ahead with it, other organizations will do the same thing when the time comes. Then, who will control the situation when it demands? So the government should take a stand. The leaders of the churches should understand. The same thing goes with the bars and the clubs. So they need to abide with this thing. COVID-19 is real. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you very much. There's a platform this Monday morning on Fresh 107.9 FM Abeokuta. Thank you for staying with us. In case you're just joining us, you're a lot of minutes late into the discussion this morning. Earlier, I spoke with the State Secretary of the Christian Association of Nigeria. He spoke to us about that letter written by the Christian Association of Nigeria chairman in Ogun State appealing to the state government, asking for a waiver and churches to be allowed to hold crossover services. Someone earlier, the last call I was speaking about, what significance the January 1st old, saying it is just like every other day. Well, that's another that would have different opinions. For some, the January 1st night is critical. He spoke about prayers. Some believe that, there is that special thing about January 1st night, and that it is important to start it in a very, very spiritual mood so that, things just go well for the remaining days of that year. That is the belief for some. Good morning. Turn down the volume on that radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello?
Yes. Turn down the volume on your radio, please. Or we'd have to let you go. What's your name? Where are you calling us from?
I'm Oladede. Calling from you. I believe Tango.
Okay.
Straight to the point. What appeal does the camp need again? Which one is more important, life or the worshiping? It is when there is life that you can worship. So there is no need for them to be appealing.
But do you
first life first?
Okay.
Yeah.
But did you get the argument? Khan's argument is that already church services are going on, because the belief is that, well, we can still have it done because the numbers here in Ogun State, for example, are not so high compared to other places. And they're saying with these normal restrictions that they use on Sundays, they can still have the crossover service and have the restrictions in place.
They don't need to. What do we need? Why do they need the crossover? Life first, like I earlier on said.
All right.
Health and life first. So
right.
There's no need for them to appeal. That one day, hour, or this. We are even lucky. We are even lucky in this time. Thank you.
All right. Yes, we are lucky. When you look at the numbers here, look at the numbers elsewhere. In places where there are a lot of cases, it is not even up for debate. For example, you look at the situation in England with the football teams. I think at the there was a time that some clubs were allowed to bring in 2,000 of their fans. I think as of yesterday, only Liverpool and Everton, 2 of 20 teams, had that opportunity to bring in fans. So in places where the numbers are really high, it's not up for debate. But, the numbers are not so high compared to those other places here. That is what everyone wants to avoid. But the beauty of a democratic setting is that people have the opportunity to express opinions, ask for what they would love, a situation they would love, and then it gets deliberated upon. Like I said earlier, we definitely await the decision by the state government. The CAN General Secretary made some interesting points about why they asked for that waiver. And what he did say is that if it turns out that that waiver doesn't come, it's something that, church leaders will not violate and they will take in good faith. That's the discussion this morning on the platform. Thank you for being a part of it. The program returns on Wednesday. That time it will be the last, for the year 2020. It's interesting. Our time flies. Since January 1st up until this moment, it appears like it's been so quick. But thank you for always being there on the program. We'll do this again Wednesday, one more time for the year, God willing. Wale Bakare is my name. Enjoy your Monday. Stay safe, please. Wear your face mask. Good morning.